Okay, at this point, in week one of the term, you're probably wondering what technical writing actually is. So we're going to start this presentation to help a little bit with that. Let's make it a little bit larger so we can see it. Okay, so what is technical writing? The term can be a little bit intimidating, but really, technical writing just means writing for workplaces. You'll notice in this picture that this is a pretty futuristic building, perhaps a manufacturing or a computer firm, but really any workplace that has any kind of documentation uses technical writing because that's all technical writing is writing for workplaces. It may be a set of instructions that are created for fellow employees or for the consumer or the client. It may be a standard operating procedure that's created. It may be a report that shows change that's needed. It might be some financial information that is explained, but anything that's done for any workplace in any kind of documentation is really technical writing. One of the ways to understand what technical writing is that almost all of it is writing that solves a workplace problem. Have you ever noticed that when you look at how problems arise, they usually come from either personnel or products or policies and procedures? Perhaps you can think back to a workplace that you've been involved in, or maybe even a student work group here at the college. When you had a problem, wasn't it in one of these areas? Perhaps the personnel, the other people that you were working with, needed additional training or additional information or additional supervision. Or perhaps the products that you had, whether they were material products or immaterial products, they were incomplete or they were ineffective or they were the wrong size, didn't fit, whatever. Sometimes in a workplace, the problems come from policy and procedure issues. Maybe the policies are not developed well enough, they're incomplete, or perhaps people don't know enough about them, or they're being unenforced. Procedures are necessary, of course, in all workplaces to complete work. Sometimes people need additional training on them, or the procedure just needs to be changed to be more effective. But usually, workplace writing will start with an issue in one of these areas. The funny thing about these three P's, which we will refer to repeatedly during this course, is that the solution also will come from personnel. Perhaps you need to hire new people, or you need to train the people that you have. Sometimes the solution will come from a product. Again, you need to purchase some new equipment, or you need to fix the things that you already have. And sometimes your solution will come from policies and procedures. Whatever it is, sometimes you'll notice that you will have also a combination of those three P's that are required for that solution to work. And we'll learn more about that later on in the term. So why do we call it technical writing? The word technical just means specialized language and content. Each career field, including the one that you have chosen, uses language that is specialized for those types of employees. For instance, I also teach in the journalism program. We use the word slug. We don't mean that little creature that crawls around your garden. What we mean by slug is a couple words that are put at the top of an article when it's typed, so that when it goes to the editor can instantly see the main topic of the article and decide which section of a publication to put it into. If you're going into education, you will hear the term Title III, which refers to some federal funding and the rules regarding that funding. If you're going into accounting, you may use the term fixed assets. As a medical person, you may have all kinds of medical issues that you're going to have to learn the vocabulary for, such as aphasia. And even in this class, we have some specialized language that we use, such as header and footer. Those are requirements for typing your document that you probably did not have in Writing 121. Another main difference about technical writing is that it's writing for very specific audiences. Unlike your Writing 121, where you were writing for a certain type of person, in technical writing you will not only write for a certain type of person, you will know what type of person they are, and they will fit into one of these categories, and you will get information on exactly what the expectations and needs are for these type of people. By the way, your assignments in technical writing for this course will focus mainly on the manager-reader. Later on, you will have a quiz after you do some reading on what are the expectations of each one of these types of people. I want to make sure that we understand this as clearly as possible. Technical writing, workplace writing, tends to go either to an expert or to a manager or to a technician or to a consumer. Each has specific expectations and needs which you can learn about, and on top of that, especially if you're writing for a manager reader, you will get to know the very specific person that you are sending that document to, and you will further adapt it for that individual. Last thing I should probably tell you is that my office is in the Tech Center 103. It is not a standard office. I use the back of a computer lab. It is the journalism production lab that we use to put out the newspaper. And I like having my office there because of all the computers. When you're having issues with any of the projects in this class, sometimes the best use of your time is just to come see me and we can sit down together, find whatever it is on the internet that you're having problems locating, fix wherever the confusion is, and by sitting side by side at the computers and having all those resources with us, we can work much faster. If you've never been to the Tech Center, it's across from the Vineyards. It is the next building up the hill going north from the daycare center. As you come in on College Road, for those of you who live in this area, the first driveway to your left goes towards the Tech Center. Room 103 will be the third door from the beginning of the Tech Center.